Wasn't always pretty in Cincinnati today, but the Lions are 4-1.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And your team is 4-1. Lions get it done today in Cincinnati, 37-24 at Paycor Stadium. Welcome in, everybody. Matt Dery with you on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Lions, a Sunday edition, October the 5th into Monday, October 6th. Thank you for making us your first listen. If you have not subscribed on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, if you're not following on all of our social medias, including Instagram and TikTok, please do. Lions get it done today, 37-24. Hey, they were 10.5-point road favorites and covered and won on the road. That is 4 straight wins. That is 4 straight wins and 4 straight games of scoring 34 points or more. And there are still points left out on the field today by this offense. But thanks for being with us, checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Thank you to our everydayers who are out there that watch or listen to the podcast daily. We got to give a shout out to our friends, yes, at Grit City Whiskey. Thank you for sending me a limited edition Grit City Whiskey bottle. Also, they sent me a little bit of these half and halves, vodka, iced tea, and lemonade. Lemonade. Yes. Thank you very much. Our Harbor Springs insider, he knows about lemonade. But hey, thanks for being with us today. Lions win. And there is no way I'm going to get on here for 27 minutes and start bitching for 26 of the 27. They won. They're 4-1. Yes, I'm well aware that the secondary is depleted. Yes, I'm well aware that Terrion Arnold grabs and holds every play. Yes, I'm well aware that Giovani Manu at times was a swinging gate at left tackle. But I'm not going to apologize for a dub. Not on the road. I don't care if Jake Browning was the quarterback. I don't care if it was Jake from State Farm. I don't care if it was Jake Ryan from 16 Candles. Jake's my boy. Jake Browning is booty. He's terrible. He's buns, as Scott Van Pelt would say. But my gosh, the Lions took advantage of it. How about the Gaines Media poster boy stepping in front for a little interception today? That's right. Alex Anzalone kicking ass. And the Lions win on the road. Again, I know no Joe Burrow. I'm well aware the Bengals offense is bad. It's the Bengals, but you'll take a win however you can get it. However you can get it. And today was about a lot of things. We'll get into game balls. We'll talk about David Montgomery. We'll talk about the defense a little bit and what they were doing early in this game that helped propel the Lions to a 28-3 lead. But before I get into anything else, let me just say this about this football team. Other than week 1, which was a bit of a bleep show, and we knew that. We knew that the Lions' performance in Green Bay was not up to snuff when we talk about this football team and how good they are and what our expectations are. But since the Green Bay game, they have now won 4 in a row. They're now 2-1 on the road. And again, today they went into this game. They got the football first and went right down the field and scored. All right, right down the field and scored. And that is the sign of a really good football team. Jared Goff hitting Sam Laporta with a touchdown. Laporta today at 92 yards receiving, third highest of his career. But it all starts and stops with this team's offensive line and the run game. Hold your thoughts on Giovani Manu playing for the injured Taylor Decker today. I'm well aware that the Lions have some depth issues at tackle because Manu was, oh boy, at least in the pass pro, as they say. But you look at the Lions statistically today, they ran for 118 yards. Wasn't the best for them. Wasn't a 200-yard performance or anything like that. But the Lions got 65 yards rushing from David Montgomery, 54 yards from Jahmyr Gibbs. When they needed to salt this game away late, when they needed to establish themselves early, they ran the football. All right, they outgained the Bengals 118-85. That is where this team wins and loses football games. Plain and simple. It's up front. All right. First series of the game, Jared Goff, for the most part, was kept clean. I know he was sacked 4 times today. I know he fumbled today on a sack. All right. But 153 passer rating, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and just solid quarterback play and solid protection for most of the day. All right. And yes, I'll get to Manu. I know I mentioned it 3 times. Don't worry. I'll get there. But this is what this team does. Let's sit here and talk about this. All right. This offense under offensive coordinator Johnny Morton looks good, and they can still get better. Think about this for a second. You had a rookie left tackle today who struggled. You have a receiver in Jamison Williams who for the first 5 weeks has done absolutely nothing, right? And isn't seeing the ball. Not necessarily his fault, just hasn't done anything. His production's not there, right? Sam Laporta up until today didn't have great production. Today was his first touchdown. You've got a new interior of the offensive line, a new center, a new right guard, a new left guard, and they're 4-1. And I know we all watched the 1:00 games today and went, oh my God, there are some bad teams in this league. Anybody watch how Arizona blew the game today at home against Tennessee? They lost that game. It's like 21-6. Well, they just lost 23-21. Like there's bad teams in this sport. Bad. Horrible. Anybody watch the Vikings today? Needing a last second Carson Wentz touchdown pass to beat the Browns out in London, over in London. They're no good. They have a nice defense, but until they get a quarterback, they're not. I mean, so the Lions are just fine. That's my point. The Lions are going to be just fine. And today, the Stars had their moments. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Aiden Hutchinson, my God, should have had a safety today on top of a strip sack and everything else that he's doing. All right. And I'm well aware that he didn't get the safety because Terrion Arnold was called for a holding. Arnold left today's game with a shoulder injury. Rock Yassin was cramping for a lot of the day. You're already without DJ Reed, your top corner. Guys were dropping like flies in the secondary today. Trey Flowers, who was signed off the street in the middle of the week, he was out there. I love when I'm watching the game and I'm like, wait, who's number 26? Oh yeah, Trey Flowers. They just signed him. He's out there. But they still won the game. And I know they're going to Kansas City next week. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, the Chiefs are so good. And what are you going to do in Mahomes? And I get it. I get that. But the Lions just keep winning. They're in first place, 4-1. Got the job done today. Again, it starts up front with that offensive line. And I thought the huge drive at the end of the game to make it, to kind of put it away at 35-24. Or not put it away, 35-17, I should say. Bengals came down and scored again. But Lions did what they had to do today. And like I said, it wasn't the prettiest of games, but who cares? This team hadn't been favored by 10 points or more on the road against any opponent since 1973. And yet they won. They lost that game, yet they won today and took care of business. And by the way, and I got to find this stat. Of course, I had it on my phone, and of course, I lost it. But this was a really good stat that I just saw today about Jared Goff, and this is made his 70th start today as a Lion. Jared Goff has tied an NFL record. Think about this, and all the people that say, is Jared Goff a top 10 quarterback? Jared Goff has tied an NFL record by completing 70% of his passes in 6 straight road games. 6 straight road games. Montgomery and Gibbs each scored a touchdown today. That's like the 14th time that's happened. That broke the record or ties the record of Emmitt Smith and Daryl Moose Johnston, who was on the call today with Kevin Kugler on Fox. And by the way, it was nice to listen to Moose Johnston because 2 of the last 3 games I've had to deal with Jonathan Vilma, who today was genuflecting and just lathering up Carson Wentz on his touchdown pass like it was the greatest throw he's ever seen. No more Vilma. I'm calling for it, please. And I know the next 2 weeks, well, we got night games the next couple of weeks, don't we? We got the Chiefs. We got a bye, right? And then the Bucks. Thank goodness. No Vilma for a while. Just like no more Kenny Banya. All right. I want to get into a couple of players that struggled. I want to talk about the David Montgomery story, which I'm sorry. How can anybody be sick of it? It is such a cool story. His sister there today to see him score touchdowns and throw touchdown passes. And I got to get into all that. We will do that coming up next. Lions win 37-24 over the Bengals on the Locked On Podcast Network. And Locked On Lions today brought to you by Square. Your favorite neighborhood spots run on Square. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood, right? They're the places that become an extension of a home, whether it's a sports bar dedicated to your team's fan base, the spot with the best wings in town for game day, or that beloved local chain that's been rooted in your community for years. These businesses are what bring people together and move the community, Dan Zeck. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives as well, all right? We all love this spot. Have you ever been down to Detroit and gone to Eggies in downtown Detroit? Awesome brunch. You get the egg sandwich down there. They run on Square. All right. It's that kind of place where you walk in and everybody knows your name. They got the game day rituals down there. And look, you want to spend money in the neighborhood locally? Great local spot. Eggies for sure. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/LockedOnNFL to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. All right, Lions win today, 37-24. What a beautiful Sunday. If you missed the game today, you're outside or walking around or maybe taking your kids to Zubu, you missed. The Lions improved to 4-1. That's 4 straight wins since the catastrophic end of the world opener in Green Bay. Shouts to the coordinators, John Morton and Kelvin Shepard. They're doing a nice job. They are. And they took so much heat, so much shrapnel after week 1. And it's turned around, and the Lions again will face the Chiefs next Sunday night. Richard Christie's Chiefs for Sunday Night Football on NBC. So a couple of night games are coming up for this club. Maybe I was wrong on the schedule. You know, I'm just not on my A game today. We got at Chiefs. No, not the bye. The bye is after Tampa. So at the Chiefs for Sunday Night Football. Home for Monday Night Football on October the 20th. That's the 7:00 game. There's also an 8:00 game, or 8:20 game, then the bye, then the Vikings. And what's cool is I like the way the defensive line's been playing and stopping the run, and they're going to get Aleem McNeil back, I think, next week at Kansas City. I'm pretty sure he's going to be activated. So that's going to be exciting, getting really your best defensive tackle back. But Tyleik Williams had a knockdown today. DJ Reader was involved in a lot of run stopping, and but getting Aleem McNeil back would be awesome. All right. I mentioned it before. All right. Lions win and win big, 37-24. If you missed it this morning, Taylor Decker, his shoulder's been bad for weeks. And I think the Lions have selected to sit him down today. And they downgraded him this morning to doubtful from questionable. He didn't practice all week. And then he did not make the cut and was placed on the inactive list before today's game, meaning that Giovani Manu, the big fellow from Canada, would make his first NFL start at left tackle. And twice today, Manu got beaten badly on Goff's blind side. First by Trey Hendrickson in the first quarter. And then late in the game, Joseph Osai absolutely crushed Goff. Thank God Jared held on to the football. I'll be interested in seeing what Pro Football Focus, when we do the PFF grades tomorrow, has to say about Manu's performance. I was trying to watch him as much as I could. But those were two mammoth swings and misses. And again, look, the Bengals had some too. I mean, Derek Barnes went right around that left guard and got a safety late in the game. And everybody talked about David Montgomery's return from Cincinnati. My buddy Noah Taluki, who does a lot of research and is awesome with this stuff, he texted me. He's like, hey, Derek Barnes is from Cincinnati too. And he's from Covington, Kentucky, which is like right across the bridge. So he's kind of a Cincinnati kid too. He had a safety. But the Manu situation, look, the Lions drafted him in the mid rounds 2 years ago for a reason. They saw some potential there, the size, just the scouting that they did on him. And today he got his chance. He got his chance to play. You're going to have ups and downs with a kid that has not played a lot of football. All right. Barely played college football up in Canada. He's been a project. Today he got his opportunity. Was he terrible and had to be replaced? No, but he wasn't good, right? And that blind side of Goff is just vital because you don't want to get your quarterback hurt. And in the fourth quarter today, Osai nearly decapitated Jared. As far as Terrion Arnold goes, I don't know what to think. Like, there's sometimes you watch him and he's physical and he's on the ball. He knocks it down. You're like, all right, that's a step in the right direction for number 6. That's a guy making progress. And he has to play with DJ Reed out. And he and Amik Robertson are playing outside corner. And then today, just some pass interference calls and holding calls where it's like, it's not necessary. Like, he grabs Jamar Chase at the 10 or 15 yard line as Jake Browning's in the end zone, getting sacked for a safety, and it is holding, but there's no reason to be so handsy. Now, Arnold had to be carted off the field today with a shoulder injury. We'll have more on that tomorrow. Maybe he sits next week. I don't know. Rock Ya-Sin came in, number 23 today, and played pretty well, I thought. Again, when you're down to Rock Ya-Sin, though, and Trey Flowers, and you're waiting on Khalil Dorsey, who also was inactive today due to a concussion and also a shoulder injury, you drafted Terrion Arnold in the first round. I need to see him play. He's got to be out there. He's got to be one of your better options. But I just don't know if he's making progress or not. And that's what's bothering me. Now, Amik Robertson got toasted today on that Jamar Chase long touchdown in the second half. Lions led this game 28-3. It should not have been this close. It got down to what? It got down to 11 on 2 occasions. It should not have been. The Lions were the better team today. And Jake Browning, holy hell, that guy is brutal. And I get it. You're without Joe Burrow. Guy's a top 5 quarterback, just a gunslinger. He has such amazing repertoire, has a rapport, with T. Higgins and with Gesicki and with Jamar Chase. And without him, you go to Jake Browning, the backup from Washington, and he's horrible. 3 interceptions today, took 2 sacks, did throw for 251, and then second half kind of awoke a little bit and threw some decent balls. But man, the Lions defense was opportunistic today, and there were a couple of interceptions. The one that Anzalone picked off, which was a brutal throw. The 500 ball that he just threw in the air to Jamar Chase and Kirby Joseph picked off. Kirby's got 20 interceptions now over his first, 4 years in the league. That's pretty impressive. Only Ed Reed, I think, has more as a safety. So Browning was bad, and that helped the Lions' cause. But look, you'll take it. You got to catch those balls. You got to make those plays. And the Lions did that. Speaking of making plays today, credit to John Morton in the second quarter. Lions leading 7-0. Wanting more. They get inside the red zone. They get inside the 5. And he puts David Montgomery in the Wildcat. And Montgomery throws a little jump pass for a touchdown to Brock Wright. Was absolutely awesome. David Montgomery, they talked about it on the broadcast. Tom Rinaldi did a piece on Fox in the pregame show. Demo coming back to Cincinnati, where he's from. Hadn't been back playing there ever, not with the Bears, not with the Lions. His sister, as they showed on the broadcast, got into a massive car accident about a year and a half ago and is paralyzed from the neck down. And this was her opportunity in person to see her brother play. And I love stories like this. And I said to you on the show this week, come on, man, Montgomery's got to get a touchdown and take that game ball to his sister after the game. And not only did he run for a touchdown later in the game, but throwing that pop pass for a touchdown was just sweet. He was a former quarterback in high school in Cincinnati. So shouts to John Morton for calling that play, for having that play in the arsenal, and for David Montgomery and the Lions offense for executing it. Montgomery and Gibbs are special together. They are absolutely special together. They combined for 119 yards rushing today, which is pretty amazing for the two of them. But for David to get a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in front of his parents, in front of his sister, his family there in Cincinnati was pretty special. And look, he's a great dude too. It's not just a cool story or a homecoming. The guy's just a class act. Just a class act. Kind of ironic that his Iowa State Cyclones played UC yesterday, the Bearcats in Cincinnati. I don't know if he was at that game or not. Cincinnati actually beat Iowa State in that game. All right, let's hand out some game balls. I'll tell you what, we got a couple of special teams game balls that we were handing out today. Got to do that. Lions win 37-24 over the Bengals today. We are back after this. And Locked On Lions for today also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. Yes, NFL season is in full swing. FanDuel has an offer you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Love how FanDuel gives you so many different ways to play. All right. If you've built parlays, you can do that. If you tried player props, you can do that. What about the live lines during games where the line changes at halftime or third quarter, fourth quarter going into the fourth? And you can do live bets right then and there. Whether you're a casual fan or you love diving in to all the numbers, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Got to give some love to my man Bradford Banta on the Lions squad show, the former Lion tight end, former Lion assistant coach. We're going to have him on the show this week for sure. But Bradford's son, Duke, is a quarterback at Catholic Central, and they lit up Brother Rice today. Played a little Sunday game. So shout out to the Banta family. Duke Banta, good kid. Big number 7, got a nice arm, and CC's got a good squad this year. But Duke and his team took care of Rice today. And got to give them some love here on this Sunday edition of Locked On Lions. Lions win today 37-24 as they take out the Cincinnati Bengals. Lions led this game 14-3 at the half. The Laporta 10-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff. The Brock Wright 3-yard touchdown pass from David Montgomery. Evan McPherson hit a 50-yard field goal at the horn that put the Bengals on the board. Lions led 14-3 at the break. Third quarter, Jahmyr Gibbs, 20-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff on a nice bubble screen down the left sideline. Montgomery ran one in from 8 yards out, made it 28-3. Then fourth quarter got a little dicey. Bengals made some comebacks. Chase caught a pass from Jake Browning for a touchdown. Then the 64-yard touchdown pass made it 28-17, a two-score game. Lions responded. Jared Goff to Isaac TeSlaa, 35-17. Isaac, 2 hands this time, caught it on a beautifully designed play. T. Higgins caught a touchdown pass, made it 35-24 with about 3 minutes to go with the Lions. Derek Barnes with a safety on Jake Browning iced the game 37-24. Lions improved to 4-1. Bengals drop to a 2-3. Some game balls. My first game ball today is going to the punt god, Jack Fox. Listen to me. All right. We never talk about the punter. Jack Fox is special. He is a Pro Bowler. If he doesn't make the Pro Bowl this year, there should be an investigation. All right. He punted 5 times today, 4 of them down inside the 20, including the one late that got him the safety, punted down at the 6-yard line. You had one where TeSlaa knocked it back to the 3-yard line. A 64-yard punt. He flips the field. He's a weapon. Love me some Jack Fox. I mentioned TeSlaa. This is pointed out by everyday listener Matty Style, but he's right. TeSlaa on special teams today was fantastic. They're on kick coverage, helping bat the punt back, and then he catches a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter for his only catch of the day. 1 catch, 12 yards, and a touchdown. Isaac TeSlaa gets a game ball. Amon-Ra St. Brown, another 100-yard day, 8 catches, 100 yards, no touchdowns, targeted 9 times, caught 8 balls. What do we say about this dude? He is just special. And yes, Jamar Chase had 2 touchdowns today, but St. Brown, who was taken in that same draft, just was better, and he is better. Maybe not better overall, but this season, St. Brown's had a better year than Jamar Chase. And some of that has to do with Joe Burrow not being there. Alex Anzalone gets a game ball for me. He was everywhere in pass coverage today. All right. Yes, 3 tackles, 2 solo, 2 TFLs, but led the team with 3 passes defended and had an interception. Lions had 3 picks today. The Gaines media poster boy, Amik Robertson, and Kirby Joseph. But Anzalone was a stud today. All over the field, he gets a game ball from me. And Jared Goff as well. He missed on 4 passes. That's it. 4. Started 8 for his first 8. 19 of 23, 258, 3 touchdowns, no pick, and a passer rating of 153.0. All this guy does is win. And today played in his 70th game as a Lion. Who would have thought that? 5 years ago when they traded for him from the Rams, and it's like, oh, he's a bridge quarterback. Remember that bit? Dude's played in 70 games, and all he's done is taken him to the playoffs, won the division twice. And again today, who'd you rather have? Our guy or who they were trotting out there? And I get it. Jake Browning's a backup. Joe Burrow's hurt. The game was different. It was all those things. If Burrow's healthy, it's probably a different game. Probably is. But Lions did a really good job today. And despite some mistakes and the sacks and fumble and some penalties, they just continue to chalk up wins. And now another primetime game next Sunday night at Kansas City against the Chiefs. So we'll see how they fare. And you remember a few years ago at Arrowhead, the Lions went in there and got a win. Let's see if they can do it again. All right, we're going to check in with Bradford Banta this week. We'll do the crossover on Thursday. Busy week ahead. We'll get you the PFF grades tomorrow and update you on the status of Terrion Arnold and some of the other injured players from today. But for the most part, Lions were pretty good injury-wise. Khalif Raymond took a shot to the neck and was out the rest of the game. Jacob Sailors did a nice job on kick returns today, too, by the way. We'll get you those updates tomorrow. The Lions win 37-24. This has been a Sunday edition of Locked On Lions.